Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm RexFinance, and man, the more and more I dive into it, the stock market is not at all ready for 2024. We have companies that are very undervalued, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove that to you in this video. We also had some huge news that came out after hours today. But can I just start with this? I mean, what in the hell are we doing? This popular indicator says the stock market could fall in 2024. If Santa Claus should fail to call, bears may come to Broad and Wall. Very, very poetic. But if you didn't know, the same guy that came up with the Santa Claus theory, the Santa Claus rally theory, whatever you want to call it, came up with this other theory where if the first 5 trading days of the year are red, it means we're going to see a red year. It's important to remember the Santa Claus rally is just one of several indicators available to forecast the following year's results. In fact, it wasn't even the only one that Hirsch used. The prognosticator identified 3 metrics, 3 of them, that he used to predict the stock market's performance in a new year. In addition to the Santa Claus rally, he also used the first 5 days of January and the January barometer, meaning the stock market's performance during that month. In shucks, the first 5 trading days of 2024 were red, so it means we're going to have a red year this year. How about we just focus on the fact that 80% of the time the stock market is going to have a green year? And this just dives right into what I'm going to talk about next. After hours today, the Spot Bitcoin ETF finally received official approval, keyword official, because yesterday they had a false start. They even said it here in the sub-headline. After a dramatic false start yesterday, the SEC has now given the green light to several Spot Bitcoin ETFs. And several meaning basically all of the applicants. You have ARK, 21 Shares, Invesco, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, Valkyrie, BlackRock, Grayscale, the list goes on and on and on. All of the Spot Bitcoin ETFs have been approved, and everybody was expecting the price of Bitcoin just to skyrocket as soon as this would happen. And now, since the price of Bitcoin hasn't skyrocketed, everybody is freaking out. As of now, Bitcoin is up less than 0.5%, but I'm here to promise you everything's going to be okay. On this channel, I've been bullish on Bitcoin for a long, long time. This Spot Bitcoin ETF approval is a very bullish thing long-term for Bitcoin adoption and, as a result, the price of Bitcoin. And I'm going to let the traders trade and make their emotional decisions while I invest and make money decisions, and I highly encourage you guys to do the same thing. Also, speaking of the SEC's false start yesterday, do you think they're going to investigate themselves for market manipulation? Because yesterday, when that tweet came out, they moved the markets. Nobody is above the law except the law itself, and unfortunately the SEC is the law. In other news, Ethereum is vastly outperforming Bitcoin after the Spot Bitcoin ETF approval. So this has everybody freaked out as well. And I just have to say, we're due for another Ethereum hype cycle. Ooh, Ethereum's going to take over Bitcoin. No, it never will, but that hype is always going to come and go, and we're due for it to happen again. And maybe this is the start of it, maybe it's not, but as of now, Ethereum is up 7.5% compared to Bitcoin's 0.5%. Oh, and going back to that first 5 trading days of January thing, I saw a handful, 3 or 4 of the big-time stock market YouTubers talk about this like this was a legitimate thing that we need to pay attention to. That's why I said, what in the hell are we doing? But anything to scare people and get clicks, I guess. Now, if you've made it this far into the video and you're not subscribed and you have not hit the like button, we have problems. I would change that. Please subscribe down below. I love seeing all the new faces. Also, consider joining my membership. It's how I avoid all these bullcrap sponsorships. You can do that by hitting the join button down below, located right next to the subscribe button, or you can hit the Patreon link in my pinned comment. It's the cheapest membership on Stock Market YouTube, and it's the best membership on Stock Market YouTube. But if you don't like it, I will 100% refund you, and I've yet to 100% refund anybody. Now, let's talk about NVIDIA, because it's a new year and the same stock market that continues to hit new all-time highs. It's like people forget that forever in history, all the stock market's done is go up in a straight line. It's been the easiest cheat code to make money in the history of mankind, yet we have people that try and trade in and out of it, and they end up losing money. But we hit a new all-time high in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ just recently, and a large part of that was because of NVIDIA, which is now sitting at all-time highs, and all-time highs by a wide margin. This is like the most straight-up price action I've ever seen on a stock price chart. Very, very impressive. Now, everybody out there is saying NVIDIA Too expensive, can't buy it. But I have news. It's not too expensive, and I'll show you how. Supposedly, this recent run-up for NVIDIA is as a result of them announcing some new desktop graphics processors that take advantage of AI, but let's be honest, that has nothing to do with it. NVIDIA is actually cheap right now, and I want to buy some shares. Currently, I own 0, and that needs to change. But Rex, doesn't NVIDIA trade at over a 60 forward PE multiple? No, actually, it does not. It used to. In fact, in July of last year, it was at over 62. But as of today, the forward PE multiple is only a 26.88, meaning this is a cheap stock. Why has this happened despite NVIDIA's stock price just going up in a straight line? Their valuation has come down and their stock price has gone up in a straight line. You don't see that every day. Well, it's been as a result of analysts scrambling to increase their projections for the company. I mean, just look at this chart and how analysts' forward revenue projections for the company have skyrocketed over the last 9 months. And this one is a doozy as well. Look at this one. Forward operating earnings per share, analyst average forecast. Look how this has absolutely skyrocketed as well since the middle of 2023. In fact, if you look at the chart, analysts have quadrupled their EPS forecast for NVIDIA since November of 2022. What happened in November of 2022? ChatGPT was released. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. I wish they would show it here on Yahoo Finance, but actually the all-time forward PE multiple for NVIDIA was on June 14th of last year. It hit a record high of 84.3. 84.3. But again, it was not truly 84.3 because analysts were so wrong with their projections. And this is something we're seeing all over the stock market now. And this is why most stocks right now are cheap. You see, analysts thought we would see a major recession in 2023 and maybe even in 2024. So all of their projections for 2023 and in 2024 were based on us having a recession. So their numbers were sandbagged terribly. And you know what? We never ended up seeing that recession because it was the most widely anticipated recession ever. And whenever everybody expects a recession, it doesn't happen. That's why being a contrarian in the stock market works so often. Flashback to October of 2022 when I was the only bull on stock market YouTube. I was contrarian and I was right about 2023. In fact, you don't have to think back that far. Just think back to today when the Spot Bitcoin ETF was approved. Everybody was expecting the price of Bitcoin to skyrocket in the snap of a fingers. And I hate to be that guy, but I did play devil's advocate in the members-only Discord server, and again, being the contrarian ended up being correct. But anyways, this is where we need to be careful in the stock market. Analyst projections, sure, they're great to look at, but forward valuations can be very misleading if analysts are wrong about the macroeconomy and the future of the macroeconomy. And I've been on record saying that I think being an economist is the dumbest job ever because nobody has any idea what's going to happen. But maybe they're smarter than me because they're getting paid to make these projections, even if they're incorrect, and I'm not getting paid for it. And well, unfortunately, since macroeconomists and analysts were so wrong, a lot of retail investors last year were saying the stock market's so expensive, how can you be buying? When it really wasn't expensive. If NVIDIA recovers to even just a 40 forward PE, the stock would be $800. And that's when I would say the stock is fairly valued. So today at $530, I think it's undervalued. And obviously that means good things for the NASDAQ and the overall stock market because NVIDIA is a very large company. And if its stock price goes up, the overall stock market is also going to go up. And if you want to know where the stock market's going to go, all you have to do is predict where earnings of companies are going to go. You can see the correlation here on the chart. When earnings are increasing, going up in a very good place, the stock market is also going to go up. But if earnings come down, that's when the stock market feels pain. I mean, this doesn't fail. But this new year is about to begin with an earnings reporting season for the last quarter of the old year. And this likely, in my opinion, earnings will come in above forecast because of what we already talked about. analysts were still predicting a recession, and they were wrong about it. So a lot of their numbers are going to be sandbagged, and these companies are going to come in and beat those estimates. If you've been following along on my channel, you would know that I have been optimistic on the outlook for earnings because I expected the economy to remain resilient and grow despite the Fed's aggressive tightening of monetary policy over the last 2 years. And in fact, in Q3 of 2023, the S&P 500 set a new all-time record for total earnings. Now, yes, we did see a short earnings recession that lasted 3 quarters from Q2 of 2022 through Q1 of 2023, and the stock market correctly anticipated that. We had a very short bear market in the stock market, and again, because the stock market and earnings of companies are correlated, they followed each other. And coming into 2024, the market is anticipating earnings growth for the S&P 500. If this correlation holds true, which it will, it means the stock market is going to have a very good year if the markets again are correct in anticipating earnings going up and growing this year. In my opinion, we're going to see new record highs of earnings very easily this year in 2024. Suffice this all to say, I am very bullish on the stock market in 2024. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a 22-year-old that's nerdy enough about the stock market to have a YouTube channel about the stock market. I very well could be wrong. I'm probably due to be wrong because I was right about 2023. But if you want to share your thoughts, you can down below. It's an open mic, basically. Just type the comment and tell me what you think's going to happen in 2024. I love reading everybody's theses or theses. I don't know what the correct word is, but it helps me shape my thesis when you guys can bring up new points to me that maybe I'm not seeing, or maybe it's just a different angle at something that I have not viewed yet. But again, with that, I'm going to end this video here. If you are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, please subscribe down below and hit that like button for me. Keep 10 toes to the ground and your chin up. Stay blessed. Peace out.